All right, so here we go. This is it. This is what we have all been waiting for. The World Cup Pro Final here, 2011 Paintball Sports Promotions. I'm Eddie Marshall. I'm lucky enough to have the man up here, Dave Youngblood himself, the guy who runs this whole thing and makes this all possible. And we're about to watch Tampa Bay Damage. They're going to take on the Russians. Dave, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Matty. Thanks for having me up and allowing me to have the best seat in the house to watch the Titans battle here.
It is quite a glorious seat up here. I mean, and a great turnout for this event. I mean, the stands are packed. They're 4 deep right on the rails up here on the sidelines, and these teams are playing amazing just to get here. Red Legion, phenomenal this morning in their performance. Fedorov is playing out of his mind, and Damage on the flip side, they've just been so methodical. Dave Baines is destroying, and Mike Carthy are destroying people off the break, and Holiday's been playing great in the Snake. Pretty much the whole team has been on fire, and Chad Boucher is just tearing up that Dorito side. So we're about to watch an amazing matchup. About 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. You can see there down the field, these teams getting ready to rock. Now, but first, Dave, the news that's out there, and a lot of people, if you could just enlighten us a little bit about what's going on. A lot of people want to know, are the leagues going to merge next year?
Well, I can say that both sides have been working really hard to make that happen, and it's not a 100% yet. It's not a certainty, but we've been meeting very regularly since June, July. We've had several meetings in different cities, and the NPPL principals were here at the event. Some playing. Art Yakamik is here with his team. And some of the other guys, Mike Peveril and Chuck Hench, and they came out specifically to meet and discuss the merger and to take it to the next point, which is really starting to bring it to closure and make it happen. And I can say that it's been a pleasure working with those guys, and everybody's intentions and heart has been in the right place for the right reasons. I know for certain that both sides want to see it happen, and I'm pretty pleased to say that I don't see at this point right now. I don't see anything that's going to stop it from happening. So I can't guarantee it, but I feel pretty good that it will come together, and that we'll be able to make a joint press release announcement in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Well, I'm sure for real true paintball fans who know how things work, that is really good news. We got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left before the start of our pro final here at the World Cup. But I think that's great because you know what? This sport has so much to offer. The leagues and the main players behind the scenes, all you guys that work to make all this happen. If you guys were to combine forces, who knows what could happen in the future and how big we could blow paintball up.
Yeah, and I think it will really allow the entire industry, as manufacturers, players, teams, it'll allow all of us to get behind a focal point and do everything we can to channel our energy to push things forward and to continue to try and grind through this recession and keep our sport growing and progressing for the future generation of paintball players, which some of them probably aren't even playing today, but they will be our future and they will be here, and we just need to continue moving forward and doing the best job that we can. And I think that bringing both the entities together is just going to be better for everybody, especially the players. I mean, it's going to improve costs. I think we're going to provide a better product, and I think it's going to be really good. And I know that the NPPL guys have done a fantastic job on their end working through this, and we've put in a lot of sweat equity to get to this point. And the thing that's the most rewarding for me about the merger potential is that everybody has really worked hard with the best interests in mind to make it happen.
Well, let's hope that it does, and thank you for your tireless efforts behind the scenes, Dave. And here we go. This is it. Pro Finals. Boston Red Legion taking on Damage, and oh, look at this. Russians losing a player on that Dorito side, and Holiday, like I was saying, man, this guy has been so consistent. He's able to get past the 50-yard line here in the Snake, but they lose El Yusuf, and it looks like they also lose Timmy Probst. And here comes the Russians, Konstantin Fedorov making his move and trading out with Holiday, but it's Dave Baines still left alive, and in a crazy, really quick point here with looks like a major penalty was assessed on the Russians, so that's a huge blow for them.
There's definitely a red flag out there. I didn't see exactly where it came from, but I think these guys, everybody's really amped up. They're ready to go. This is going to be kind of like a heavyweight fight. Both these teams know that to win this, they're going to have to come out swinging and play aggressive and start to control the tempo and dictate the terms. And so we're seeing it now. These guys are going to be in each other's face. It's going to be a good match.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good match and a very chaotic, crazy first point here. But it is, look at that. The Russians, they get a major penalty, so there's a minute and 40 left on that penalty. Again, major penalties, 2 minutes. They stay on, whether you win or lose, until that time comes off the board. But even though they got that penalty, they still got the point. Score 1-0 in favor of the Russians. Let's check out this replay. You're looking at on the breakout. This is the Russians doubling up that back center and spreading the field, getting out to both sides, and then on the stunt, getting to the insert bunker on the Doritos. Now, flip it up. Here comes Damage. Nice, solid breakout. They, too, double up that back center, and then some quick moves over there on the Doritos side to get Holiday in. They did lose some bodies, though, and here, look at this. There's Fedorov running down Holiday as he tries to stay alive, but he gets taken out. Still not sure who that penalty was on. Let's see if we can see who's in the box. And here comes, you're looking at Tampa Bay Damage on your screen right now. Brian Smith going to be on this snake side of the field with Brown. Such a good story. Brown, a young up-and-coming guy on the Damage roster, getting patted on the back by Mike Carthy and also Jason Edwards, too. Such a consistent player. And I think if you could say one thing about Damage, Dave, it's consistency. That's why they're so good.
Well, they're really a team that's come of their own, and they've really started to dial in, and they have a lot of young players that were nobodies not long ago that have started to be, have developed into being some of the strongest players in the circuit right now. And I'll tell you that these guys work hard. I don't know, other than the Russians, I don't know any team that practices as much as Damage does. They really grind it out, and they're smart about their practices. They go out. I mean, they're a team that goes out and practices in the ring, on purpose. Well, so they earn their spot.
It's Florida. They don't got a choice sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
So here we go. Oh, look at this. Russians starting with 4 again with that major penalty. They send Justin Rabakov out to the back corner. You see him right here. He's shooting inside, and now switches down to the sidelines. He's rolling his gun. Justin stepped up and had some huge points for the Russians to even get them to this position. And he is, still, I was going to say, not really trying to prove himself. Everyone knows what Justin's made of, but this is the World Cup. Every single point and every game you play out here.
Every move matters at this point. I mean, these guys, and it's nice to see. I mean, all the matches were really good here, but these two teams deserve to be here. They're playing the best. We have the best playing the last game of the afternoon, and these guys are going to brawl.
Look at this. Absolutely. And speaking of a brawl, here comes Brian Smith trying to answer the Russians right now. And he is all the way onto the Russian side of the field, and he takes out Justin Rabakov. And there goes Edwards sprinting that flag in. Nice job. Here comes Damage to tie it up. We got ourselves a tie match with 18:05. That's 2 quick points, Dave. These guys are really, they got this field down.
And I think we may see the tempo slow down here in a couple points, but it's quite obvious that both these teams know this field really well, and they're making real quick, aggressive, pre-calculated moves that they know are going to achieve a certain result. And look what they're doing. These guys they're just hammering on each other. So.
Yeah, and they are definitely hammering on each other. And the thing that Damage really got here, because they're so consistent. Wow, the crowd is really getting into it right now. Again, packed stands and
this is one of the largest World Cup crowds we've had in probably the last 3 or 4 years. It's great to see. It's nice to have the fans hang out to watch.
We got a replay. Let's check this out here on the screen. Now you're looking. This is Smith here, and he is in the snake. And you can see, look at those angles coming in there from Justin Rabakov. And this is Smith polishing off Justin.
Yeah, Justin's at a big disadvantage here at this point because he also knows that he's starting to lose his right side too. So he's got 2 things to think about.
And when you're in that situation, look at that.
Really
Edwards,
tough.
Wow, and Edwards is sprinting that flag. And the reason why he's doing that, still 36 seconds left on that major penalty.
Yeah, trying to keep the penalty as deep as possible. And, it's good. How many times have you seen so far today critical mistakes like that with some of these seasoned veteran teams where they're not thinking about keeping the penalty time as long as possible?
And that's why they're not
these
playing
guys are
right
playing
now.
smart.
Yeah, and that's why these guys
are.
They're
not out here, and that's why. Little things like that will get you. It's a lot of little things that add up to a difference at the end of the day.
So here we go, just about 15 seconds to go before the start of this next point. 36 seconds left on that Russian penalty. 18:05 on the clock. We are all tied at the one apiece. Let's see what happens here. Again, the Russians need to stay alive off the break, especially only with 4 guys. Let's see what Dave Baines can do here. He's been destroying people off the break, him and Mike Carthy. And now on the break, it looks like Damage able to keep 5 alive, and the Russians able to spread the field. They have 4 alive, and now making moves up in that center. And
yeah, this is a little bit different spread, and for a little bit different spread for Damage.
And Damage starting to lose bodies. They lost one, they lose another one. Oh, and a major penalty on Damage now. So a major penalty assessed on Damage. They pick one up just as the Russians are about to gain their player back from their major penalty.
Now at this point, these two need to hold on and just, pretty much forgive trying to win this point, to just whittle this major penalty down. I mean,
absolutely.
And I didn't see how he got the major, but talk about sloppiness. You can. Tides can turn real quick at this level, and you just saw it right there.
Yeah, and props to the Russians for fighting back through that major penalty. They won that point, and then now they're going to be up a point, so they fought all the way through, and they're still winning this game.
And the guy that got the major on Damage, he's just sitting at a back bunker, and that's a classic mistake that, you expect to see majors happen when you're doing a takedown or you're doing an aggressive move or you're trying to take on too much, and picking up a major that way, that's just insult to injury.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that might have been Chad Boussier who may have got that major penalty. I couldn't quite see from up here, but if that is the case, that's really rare because Chad plays really clean normally, and again, he wasn't really getting in there. So look at that. You got Justin Rabikoff. You're looking at him on your screen, 22 years old. And really, you watched him help pause that game off for the Russians. The Russians now winning 2-1, and there's 1:24 seconds left on Damage's major penalty.
There's a good handful of Rabikoff jerseys, Russian Legion jerseys here in the crowd. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, so we got a replay. Let's check this out. Now you're looking at, this might be this penalty. Now you're looking at top left-hand portion of your screen is where this penalty comes from. So, and the referee is in there. He's checking out Chad Boussier. He pulls him out. And Chad was in the stand-up temple just on his way, starting to make his jump, and he's played so flawless and phenomenal over there. And look at this, he pulls a guy out.
So it was the small temple, huh?
Yeah, it was the stand-up temple over there.
Well, I think he went and he pulled out the stand-up, but then when he walked over, he was playing on with the hit. And I think it was the smaller bunker I think it was the temple that got the penalty. Well, not sure. They both were.
Well, we're gonna find out, because if Chad Boussier goes into the box, then it's definitely him. And as it stands right now, I see the Edwards brothers out there, Mike Carthy, the big gun in the back, and Brown. Yeah, it was Chad Boussier. That's a very, I feel bad for the Damage fans, because Chad is such a clean player normally that to see him get a major penalty when the chips are down, they come. I know they come.
You can be the cleanest player on the planet, and sometimes that happens to you.
Yeah, so
you don't feel it. You're focused.
Yeah,
they're playing. So
exactly. So now Tampa going to have to turn around, just like the Russians. They fought through that major penalty.
Yeah.
Now,
and you want to win this point, but you don't want to win it too fast, because they'll throw it on you. So you want to play it out, slowly, methodically move upfield, draw that penalty out, and then win the point. And it looks like they're kind of taking some spots here where they think that they can just, obviously that they're not taking much any of the center field. They're letting the snake go, and they're just trying to whittle the time down.
And Dave, look at this lineup they have. The Tampa Bay Damage has 4 bodies left alive, and they're just zoning up. Yeah. They're all rolling their guns. This is exactly what they need to do to get that player out of the box, get their 5th guy back, and honestly get Chad out of the box.
And surprisingly enough, the Russians know that. They don't want that to happen. But I'm really surprised that Fedorov or the back taco Dorito guy is not coming. Okay, now he's coming up. Coming up the snake, he needs to get up here quick. I mean, this is a free. He can walk up here. This is a free area.
J-Rab.
That was a beautiful shot. Did he get as the snake guy? Nope, he's okay.
Oh, so there comes Justin Rabikoff. He's making his way up the snake.
Yeah.
And it was Edwards who got that. It looked like he bounced him over the top of that bunker.
Yeah. And the problem with this spread is that the Damage, the Damage player that's up on the right tape. Well, he got Justin. The Damage player that's up at the right.
Yeah, so it's
the
just,
right Dorito.
It's
you know,
it's 2-on-2 right now, Dave. You got Edwards and Dorito 1, 50-yard line Dorito for the Russians. Oh no, I'm sorry,
That's
3.
three on two,
Fedorov
yep.
is still alive.
Oh, now the damage guy's making a move.
Look at this move.
Made a nice move too.
Edwards
Clean
is just
takedown,
on fire
and he just
right
shot
now.
all 3 of them within 3 seconds.
Oh my God!
That could be the move of the match. Runs up the field, takes down a guy clean, and then shoots 2 more within a 3-second window.
Unbelievable
Well,
move.
he deserved that point.
Big players have big games. Good job by Edwards.
And they took a fair amount of time off the clock. Well, he just earned his keep.
Yeah, so amazing job, and the score is going to be 2-2 with tying it up right there at 2 apiece is damage, and that's what it takes when it's the World Cup Finals. Everything's on the line, and you want to make a name for yourself, and you want to help your team out to help win that glory, to win the respect, all the hard work you put in.
Yep.
That's the whole reason you do it. You put all that methodical time spent crafting your skill, so that when everything's on the line, you don't think about it. It just happens. So great job by Edwards over there on the Dorito side of the field.
Hey, moves like that are what make the difference. Small mistakes make the difference. Moves like that make a difference.
So the score is tied up at 2 apiece, and this is just what we thought we were going to see out of these two teams here.
It's going to be a back and forth.
Let's check out this replay. So here it is. You see the Russians trying to get in the snake, and here comes Edwards coming down the sidelines. Bam! Takes down the first one at the 50-yard line to Dorito. Smokes down the stand-up Temple. He's still alive. Gets the crossfield shot. Phenomenal performance.
Yeah, I mean, it was, takes down 3 guys within maybe 3-4 seconds window. And, that's how it's a smart move, because he knew that if in fact he didn't move fast on it, these guys would pull back gun up on him and hold him in the corner. He did it right.
Yeah, amazing job. So then we got ourselves a tie game. Now, if they're back to full strength. Now, Chad Boussier, he's got to get down that Dorito side. He's been doing that all weekend long for damage. Let's see, Dave Baines is out on the field for damage. He's going to have to try to shoot some of these Boston guys off the break. And on the flip side, let's see, they got Konstantin Fedorov and Britnikov out there right now. They sit down, Justin Rabikov. I know Britnikov struggled a little bit. I don't know about that. I might keep running with J-Rab and Fedorov.
Well, I think you kind of have to. I mean, a couple bad points, you don't you don't pull it that quick.
But Malloy is such a good player, and he's won championships for this team. He's had some amazing one-on-one victories over the years. So I could understand why they want to get him out there and see what he can do. So here we go. Now the Russians are losing. They lose a body over on the Dorito side. Looks like they lost 2 bodies.
Yeah, 2. I think it's a 3-on-4, is it?
Yeah, it looks like it is. Wow, look at this Tampa Bay damage. I don't see anyone on their side either. They must have lost a bunch of bodies real quick. Dave Baines is trying to do damage control. He's having to come over
to the corner, so I think it is a 3-on-2.
But he makes it. Dave Baines makes it in, but then he catches one in the face.
Yeah.
So it's just one.
So got a 1-on-2 now.
Oh, and then he gets shot as well. So here come the Russians. Still a ton of time left, though. 14 minutes on the clock. But, Dave, the way these two teams are playing, they're in the groove right now. They know this field. Every one of these players seems to be hitting on their cylinders right now. And I don't think we're going to get to time. I think we're going to see 7 points.
I think we will, too, yeah. Yeah, they're playing. These points are going pretty quick and consistent.
So, I mean, we'll see. You never know. I mean, with good teams like this, well, look at this. As we're starting to see, or look at this. I'm wondering why they're not blowing the horn. I don't know, if I was Tampa, just blow the horn, man. I mean, they're going to win the point. Might as well keep some time on the clock to use just in case. You never know. That's the thing with time. You never get it back.
Yeah.
So when you want it, you never can get it back. So in a situation like this, if I'm Tampa, I'm just going to blow the horn. So there it is. They finally concede the point, and the Russians are going to go up 3-2. Nice job. Really, I'm glad I'm seeing this. Not a lot of mistakes, a few penalties, but I think what that's coming from is the intensity. That the intensity has been ratcheted up. Let's check out this replay. So you're looking at the breakout right here as they streak out, able to look at that, tripling up that back center right there. And then on the flip side, damage They are doubling up the back center. They got, anytime you got Dave Baines' gun back there. But that's a pretty risky play to triple up that back center that the Russians had done.
Yep.
Yeah,
well, because you can triple it up, but you can't stay there long. I mean, you triple it up just to gun up, but then you've got to break out and go.
Yeah. So you're looking at Matt Blonsky, Kirill, and Justin Rabikov on the field right now for the Russians. Look at that last-minute discussions that they're having. It's a constant conversation, Dave. You know this. You've been out there, back in the day.
They're not doing anything majorly different, but they're constantly doing some fine-tuning changes, adjustments, just things that they're seeing that they, that they'll change the way that they shoot or who they're shooting at, or they'll change their cross-up at a certain time. It's a lot of this is just constant calculation, just calculating paintball. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
That's what I love about the game at this level, or just in general, but really at this level, it's a special thing because those differences and the conversations they're having are these really small tweaks, really small tweaks that happen that are almost imperceptible to some people.
I honestly believe that the World Cup event is the best event that the paintball industry has to offer. It's the end of the season. These teams are at their best playing all year long, and it comes down to just who can grind it out. It's been a long season, and it's the best that we have to offer.
And
These
it's like
teams
a carnival atmosphere. Look how happy everybody is right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. This is a stacked, crazy, packed house right now. All right, so on the field, Red Legion up 3-2 on damage, 13:06 on the clock, and then Kirill from the Russians is now making his way down the Dorito side of the field, not quite yet at the 50s. Justin Rabikov they've switched Justin Rabikov and put him on the Dorito side of the field. This hasn't happened yet this tournament, so that's a very interesting switch. I think that's actually not a bad switch. Just change things up. Damage has been scouting the Russians nonstop this entire time. Oh, but look at this. Complete destruction for the Russians as they lose their center player and they lose Britnikov as well. And now, even though he's probably happy to play over there for a second, Justin's got to come and retreat back just to do damage control. Brown is in Snake 1 for Tampa Bay damage. He's backed up by Brian Smith. On your screen right now, you're looking at Justin Rabikov, and he's going to have to shoot both ways. There's really nothing else he can do at this point because there's no other player even close to him, anyone on the Snake side of the field. I mean, Justin's on the Dorito side, but he has Kirill as a thorn in the side at the 50-yard line Dorito. And now Brown makes his move. He's shooting at the 50-yard line Dorito, but because this happens sometimes where for damage, the Snake side is blown. Now, for the Russians, the Dorito side is blown.
Yep.
So they both have...
And we've yet to see a real head-to-head Snake battle yet.
Yeah, we really
whoever's getting in there is maintaining it, and they're just dealing with it instead of coming. I know that this field's playing a little bit differently than what people thought it was going to when they got the layout, but it seems like these guys are totally. They have a lot of confidence in conceding and letting the Snake go at times.
I totally agree, and this is quite a long point. This very technical issue right now at hand because you have Brian Smith and Brown over here on the Snake side of the field for damage. You got Kirill and Justin Rabikov on the Dorito side. It's almost like the field has literally turned.
Yeah, it's just swapped. We've kind of swapped two corners.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was kind of anticipating that I thought that we'd see some quick points and then things would kind of settle a little bit and it may draw out. I still agree with you. I think that we'll still see a 7-point match before time.
You never know. Not if we get this we get a 7-minute point.
Yeah, these are the points that when you're just 2-on-2 or 1-on-1 mano-a-mano that if you lose them, it's not just the point; it's a major spiritual letdown. It can affect the team in such a way because everybody's watching. It's quieting down, and this is when you need your mijos to play their best. And
absolutely,
it can bring the whole team down when you lose a close point like this.
Well, another thing too to think about is these guys are going to start running out of paint. Oh, look at this. Brown gets a shot on Kirill. So Brown, the rookie, stepping up. And now let's see if he can take out Justin Rabikov.
His teammate needs to come up and split the field open a little bit and corner this guy. See, his the guy here at the small temple, there he goes. Now he's making the right move. He's going to start to swing out to spread the field on him so he can't handle it. And he can practically walk up on him.
So look at this damage trying to tie it up right now. It's 2-on-1, just Justin Rabikov. Let's see if Justin can do something legendary again like he did in Chicago. Nope. He gets shot out of his spot. So here comes, you can listen to that hometown crowd.
In my opinion, this is now a major momentum change for damage. The Russians are looking down. You can tell their body language walking off the field that they're not feeling good about this. If Damage comes back and wins the next point, the momentum is going to be fully on their side. This will be their match, their game to lose.
Yeah.
Because you can see it starting to shift.
Yeah, and
just you can read it in the body language with these guys.
We always talk about paintball as a game of momentum. At this level, we're sitting here talking now. Who do you think is going to win? They're so evenly matched skill-wise. Yeah. It's not a skill issue at this point. It's a mental issue. Who is going to be able to take the skill and the talent that they have and perform when the chips are down?
Yeah.
And that's what experience is.
Yep.
Both these teams are so experienced, and then look at this. We couldn't have a closer match as we cracked the 10-minute mark. 9:35 on the clock. We got ourselves a 3-3 match. Both teams at full strength. Wow, this is going to be interesting to see what happens. Minute and 20 seconds before the start of this next point. Let's see who Tampa Bay Damage sends out. They got Chad Boucher over there. Big Dave Baines coming back out. They got Rumsey El Yusuf, and Rumsey, he just came off of an injury, so he's back playing. And, CJ Basalis, he's actually injured, so, he's the owner of the team, and got to thank him for even having Damage around. And also Dye for helping him out, of course,
Yeah, they're Damage is their great group of guys, and I mean we obviously support teams of extreme talent, but to be honest with you, we support guys that are really good guys. And these guys are cool.
Well, that's another thing too. I think
they're a flagship East Coast team.
Yeah, I mean we have about 30 seconds, but again, a lot of guys out there. I get this all the time. Oh, I need a sponsorship this. What do I need to do? I think who else better could they hear it from? What do teams need to get sponsorship?
I think a lot of it is a lot of it's having a game plan and honestly setting out objectives. I mean, we get a lot of resumes. But it doesn't really tell you anything about the team, And I've had some resumes that were incredible portfolio productions on DVD that were really, really well done, and then I've gotten some that have looked like a 12th grader, a 12-year-old wrote it. I'll touch on that a little bit more later to help everybody out.
But here we go. So all tied up at 3 apiece, and as we progress through this matchup, 9:23 on the clock, and it looks like the Russians are pushing up that Dorito side of the field. But they lose they lose Pantalev out of that back bunker. So they still have 2 players over there on the Dorito side. Also Damage with 2 players on the Dorito side. But Damage lost Rumsey El Yusuf over here on the Snake side of the field. So both teams with 4 bodies. Oh, wow, look at this. Mishka getting shot at a Dorito 1. And then Kirill trying to do damage control. He gets shot.
And the Russians keep walking off in groups of 2,
That's not good to see if you're a fan
it tells
of
me that the Damage guys are really picking up some lanes here that's working for them.
Yeah, and now
and the Russians are conceding the Snake, even though they have players that are in position to take the Snake. And I think Damage is going to make the most of it here.
Well, they definitely have the numbers to do it, and they got Dave Baines and Holiday over here. And Daniel Holiday, he's a very methodical player. He's very aggressive. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes though. So, and you combine that with Dave Baines, and it's their up bodies. They really shouldn't lose this point. In fact, if they do lose this point, then it's going to be a huge boost to the Russians, because anytime talk about momentum, when you can pull off that 2-on-4, that's the type of stuff that really lets your team get that huge ego boost.
And I just don't think the Russians even have the opportunity at this point, or haven't since they went down to 2-on-4 to spread the field out. They're both stuck in this corner, and it's not. I mean, the Damaged Snake player could come up and make a difference here real quick, and they're down 1, and it's going to end here real fast.
Yeah, and Fedorov gets taken out. Britnikov does too.
Now when you win, like I said, this point is a critical point, and when you're walking off with 4 guys alive, that feels good, and the Russians don't feel good about it. So you can tell the body language of the Russians is telling you right now that they're not. They feel like they're losing control of this match, and that the tempo's shifting, and that that the Damage is dictating the terms of this.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think that's the point, dictating the terms.
Yeah.
Because when you get to this level, it's always about this. I don't care what level of paintball you play. You are imposing your will on the other team.
The match, yep.
They are trying to impose their will on you,
and
that's the fight.
It's the way that you force the opposition to not play their game.
Yeah, exactly. So let's check out this replay. We're looking at the Snake action right now, and this is Holiday, and he's getting a shot on pretty much the last player for the Russians. And there he is, Fedorov in the back corner. And it's just it's 2-on-4. There's really not much he can do. He's trying to do something by, coming out of that bunker, maybe get a quick kill, regain position. But it just wasn't enough.
They got pinned back there, and I'm sure they didn't like it. It wasn't the the best spot to be in. And I know that they would have broken out if they thought that they could have. So.
Yeah. So the score now: Damage 4, Russians 3. 7 minutes and 44 seconds remaining here in the pro final match of this competition. Now, if I'm the Russians, man, this is a huge point for them because that momentum is really swinging towards Damon's side. You can hear the crowd getting up right now.
And the best way, you don't really necessarily want a long, drawn-out point. If the Russians were to win the next point, you want to come out fist swinging, and you want to just mow right over them and pick up this point in a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best confidence boost you can have, that you can, again regain control of the match.
Well,
and they're coming out pretty strong. They're on the snake early up front, almost to the 50 on the snake side. Now, if we have the first time we have a snake battle here that's going to start to develop.
Yeah, and Damage lost their front guy over on the Dorito side of the field, and it's Justin Rabikov.
The Russians are down 2.
Yeah, the Russians are down as well, so kind of a bloodbath point so far over on that Dorito side. Though, even though they lost their front guy, they still have 2 players. Damage still has 2 players over there.
Yeah,
they got Mike
they're spread.
And Jason
they have a good spread right now. This is a good spread that they can cross it up and tie this down. And at this point, if Damage feels, it's. The benefits are on their side, so they can draw this out and let some time go.
Yeah. And maybe we may see a long point, though. It's still such a close match. And there's no reason to sit in your bunkers and just hang out when it's a 1-point game, because you got to be trying to still put your will on the other team and take the advantage when you see it. That's not when I'm just going to shoot my lanes because we're up 1 point. Now, maybe if this becomes a long point because Damage is winning and you're getting down below a minute, then lock it up and try to get that W. But right now, really, it's going to be up to Justin Rabikov here in the snake to try to make something happen for his team.
Yep, this is his point to win for sure. He's in the best position on the field.
Look at that.
He can make.
The Russians do this a lot, Dave. When they don't
through the point.
Yeah, when they don't feel like they're in a position to. It's like it's anti-Shane Pastana. Remember Shane Pastana used to just.
I can't say I agree with that at all.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean.
Because Shane, when we
going 5-3 and you allowed the point to go, when you still have one of the best players in the world that's still out there in a good position, a position to make a difference.
Yeah,
I don't know if I agree with that.
See,
call.
but that's the anti-Shane Pastana. Because when we were on the Ironman, he'd just be like, "No, let it roll. Let my boys go."
Absolutely.
I got faith in you.
If there was still one of us left alive in the field, we could win. And we always felt that. We believed that, and that's why we would win.
And coming up the ranks, when I got in the Ironman, I remember that was one of the best things I learned from the older crew, from the team. The leadership of the team was like, I remember you guys always used to say, I don't care how many guys you got out there, we're going to win. You always got to think that in your head.
There's always a way to win.
Exactly. Let's check out this replay. You're looking at Justin Rabikov running and gunning.
He worked hard to get into a great spot to do some damage. In fact, he's what really boxed down that whole Damage right corner to where they couldn't come up the Dorito side.
Yeah, and then looking on the flip side, there's Damage, really strong, heavy guns up the break, boom, right in the snake. And honestly,
I don't, for the Russians, I don't, when they throw a point like that, I don't think that time is their enemy. I feel that points are their enemy. I mean, you're 4-3 or 3-4, and then you let them have 5. I mean, well, now you have 2 more points that you cannot let slip out of your hands. And if you win the next 2 points, the most that you've done is tied the match.
Yeah.
I would not have given that point up, but that's just me.
Yeah, me too. They do that a lot. They do that a lot, though. They definitely do that a lot. I don't know, maybe they've done some crazy mathematical analysis or something where they justify that, but every time they do that, I'm always like,
Well, they may
maybe
have
that's our California roots.
They may have a calculator or something.
Yeah.
They're determining that that's the right thing to do.
Well, look at this, and they send Justin all the way up the snake again, and he makes it in there. The referee's tailing him, though. Referee thinks he might be hit. Referee's in there checking him out. If he's hit, that's going to be a penalty.
And if there's a penalty that comes down now for
he is, yes, he's hit, and a major penalty on Justin Rabikov. Big blow to the Russians.
That's like a serious dagger right now.
I think,
this is the
I'm
time.
wrong,
if you're the
Russians,
Russians, you cannot get a penalty. And and I feel for Justin. He's not had a very good match. I mean, I mean, the kid's been playing.
And they didn't let him play that last point. He got to a great spot.
Yeah.
They're like, nope, sorry. Nope, we're going to blow the horn.
Now, if you're damaged at this point, you want to end this, pick up the point, and keep that penalty going as long as possible.
Yeah.
And this
look
isn't
at this.
looking
They're
good.
swarming.
Yeah.
They make him pay the toll. Oh, and Dave Baines.
You don't want to do anything stupid or bump into somebody.
Yeah, look
See,
at that.
there
He's got a
goes
penalty.
there goes this. That right there is sloppy. You don't need to run up and shoot somebody 12 times in the back of the head and then run into them and bump into them. That's not smart.
Rare mental error by Dave Baines right there.
I don't think it'll cost him the match, but still, you don't do things like that.
Yeah. Well, Damage is going to be 1 point away from victory right here. 6-3 is our score. There's 1 minute and 31 seconds left on Justin Ravikoff's major penalty, and Damage is going to have a 56-second penalty of their own. Let's check out this replay. Here it is, Dave. You got the referees tailing him in there, and Justin is just digging.
Justin was acting like it was a harness hit or something, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd love to talk to Justin about this. It'd be great to kind of see.
Because he pulled his harness off to look at it when he's walking off.
Yeah, so look at this. There goes the flag, and I hope we can run this for a little farther. Look, he's trying to figure out, okay, where am I hit? You can tell by body language a lot of times. A lot of times if a guy knows he's guilty, he just is going to hang his head and walk off.
Yeah.
But Justin is like, no, wait a second, where am I hit? Major penalty. So, look at Justin's still trying to figure it out.
See, now it's not on his harness, it's on his leg, and so the ref thinks, that's a direct leg shot. He knows it, he feels it, and I don't know. It's hard to say.
It's hard to say from up here,
really
even
is.
with the angles.
Well,
that's why we have referees.
Not even so much up here. I mean, it's just hard. There's only one person that knows. And,
yeah, exactly.
And, we all know that you can have a mark that big and it not really be a direct hit.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here is the situation. Damage, 1 point away from victory. 40 seconds before we are ready to go for the next point. Minute and 31 seconds on that Justin Ravikoff penalty. 5:12 on the game clock, and Red Legion needs to get something going here. This is a gut check time for them. There's still enough time for them to tie this up. They've scored a ton of quick points before. I know they can do it again if they really want to dig deep and find out. And who are they got there? They got Fedorov. They got Malloy. And it looks like Mishka and Kirill. That's a pretty good lineup right there. Yeah. And on the flip side, Damage, you're looking at Brown. Wow, they let the kid go out there. And, hey, he deserves it. He's been playing real well. Dave Baines sitting in the box. And they double up. The Damage doubles up that back center. They get the Edwards brothers out to the Dorito side.
Yep. Got to play smart and got to draw this out if you're the Russians. They got one, so they're down. They've shot one Damage.
Absolutely.
And they're taking some good spots.
And then here goes Malloy and Fedorov over here, double teaming this snake side of the field for the Russians. Now, time is definitely going to start to haunt the Russians. They have to score 3 points, and we're under 5 minutes. There we go. Britnikov, he's in snake one. He's going to try to get a shot on the Edwards brothers crossfield on the Dorito side. Now, the thing is, Damage, they don't even have to do anything. They're going to get Dave Baines out of that box, so Dave Baines is going to come out with 8 pods, rolling his gun out of that back center.
The move for the Russians is to continue to come up this snake, push Dave out on the outside tape because they have the tape locked down.
Absolutely.
And, is that it for Dave? Yep. So they picked up Dave. Now's the time to get coming down the snake quick.
So they get Dave Baines out of the
back
box.
out now.
They
lost picked
Edwards.
out the tall tempo.
Yeah, they lost Edwards out of there. So and then this good move by Brian Smith, and he's going to try to get a shot.
That's smart for Brian to come into the snake.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
To counter him, to slow him down.
Because, you get somebody in there, he starts putting pain on that Dorito side of the field, and that keeps that guy from making his move.
And, Damage doesn't have a bad spread. Well, now they've lost their center guy, so now they don't have a good spread.
Yeah, and look at the Russians. I mean,
now this is the Russians' point to lose.
If they lose it, they get Justin back in 6 seconds.
Now, see, you're right. I mean, that's kind of sloppy play, but Justin's back out. But still, they need to get down the Dorito side of the field. And now, again, like you said, they got to be watching the clock. The clock is now their biggest enemy.
Yeah, and here comes Justin. Now Justin coming down that Dorito side of the field. And here comes Kirill. Kirill up in the center. Let's see if Kirill launches to the A. Justin moving up the Dorito side. And look at this. Nice job. Kirill gets a shot on Brian Smith and takes him out. And that is going to do it for Tampa Bay Damage at this point. We got ourselves a 2-point match with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. Both teams back at full strength.
Yep.
Hell of a game, Dave.
Yep, that was good. I mean, they had to do it, and they did it exactly what they needed. They probably let about 30, 45 seconds off the clock go, more than they really should have. But 6-4, 3 minutes left. The Russian, if there's any team out there that can turn this thing that quick, it's them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing.
It's a huge confidence booster. You just tell by the way they're running around the field now. After the point, they feel good about this.
Yeah, they're ready for it.
So they know that they can do this. And when you're damaged and you know that you're 1 point from putting this thing to bed, you come out and you play the best point of your life.
Absolutely. And here we go on the replay. That's Kirill launching up to that center, and he's taking out Brian Smith in the snake.
I think that he did shoot him first, but, it's irrelevant at that point. Just pull the flag and
here's
go.
Smith. Here's Smith, and he sees him coming. Boom. Yeah, he gets shot in the pack. That's a tough one, though. You saw it nicked off his pack. We could even see it on the replay right there. But unfortunately, that's like, if you're not going to feel one, that's it. Regardless, Brian Smith's going to put paint on him anyway. It doesn't matter. So here you go. Damage 1 point away from taking the 2011 Pro World Cup title and make it 2 wins in a row and make a statement to the paintball world. The thing about Damage, man, those guys really, I think deep down, feel like they don't get the respect they deserve. They're coming out of Florida, and they've been hit or miss before. Now they're so consistent.
Yeah, and they definitely are a strong team, but of course when you compare them to the Russians, they have not been around as long.
Yeah, they haven't been around as long.
They don't have the respect following that the Russians do. But they're a team that's going to win more events in the future, and they're a strong group of guys, and they're very tight.
And you're looking at Damage as we got a timeout called. You got 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Let's just break this down here. Now, Damage, they've been PSP Pro since 2008. Not a long time, in historically, speaking. They're 58 wins, 35 losses for a 62% win percentage. This year, they're 10-5. First event, they went 3-2. They advanced to the semis. Second event, they went 2-2, didn't advance. And then Jersey make a statement, go 5-1, and really have a dominant performance. They beat Dynasty in the finals and really looked amazing doing it. And now they come out here, they looked amazing in the prelims. They're 1 point away from victory. Damage this may be Damage's time right now.
Yep. For sure, it's now. This is it. 1 point.
But on the flip side, the Russians, unbelievable. They have the highest win percentage in the sport, at least right now. 140 wins since 2004, 40 losses. That's a 78% win percentage.
Yeah.
They won the event in Chicago. They sucked in Jersey. They went 1-3. That's one of the worst performances they've had in recent memory. In fact, maybe ever, at least in like 5 years. Mm-hmm. And they made the finals in Texas. So, other than that hiccup in Jersey, they've had a great year too. So, I don't know. We will see. 6-4 is the score. 3 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock. Can't wait to watch this next point, Dave. About a minute to go.
This is when you want to be the star of the show, when you're on Damages, when you get, when they want to send you out to put this thing to bed.
Yeah,
you want to make it happen. And the kid that can do it is the one that's going to come down this snake.
Yeah, and also I got to give
he knows now he's probably going to meet a Russian head-to-head in here.
Yeah.
He takes him out. He moves down the field quick before they can react to it. He can be the star of the show.
And, Boston, they got to score 2 points in 3 minutes and 8 seconds.
Just to tie.
Just to tie. So what you're going to see an initial break, and what's going to happen? They'll probably get some sort of standard break. You might see the snake one off the break.
I think they're going to come down the snake pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. But what's going to happen is how quick games can go or points can go is really dictated by the break. Are you going to get some kills off the break? If you get kills off the break, you really can speed things up. But so Damage, they need to get 5 bodies out alive. Let's see if they can do it. They double up that back center. Baines is rolling his gun, and look at this. Britnikov getting shot off the break. That's not going to help the Russians. So look at this. Damage. Whoa, look at that. Fedorov jumps over a lane. A very athletic move, and he makes it in clean. And here come the Russians down the Dorito side.
Get down the Dorito side. I guess they're going to just block out the corner here.
And Dave Baines gets shot out of that back
so
center.
We're, 4?
It's 4-on-4 right now.
4-4. And now we're starting to come down. Say Fedorov gets clipped. Clipped easy, but at least they've got one guy down the snake. They have to just keep thinking. You don't have a lot of time here. You have to keep moving.
Damage is either 2 minutes and 30 seconds or 3 kills away from a World Cup victory.
Yep. And both the guys, the guy at the Temple, he knows he needs to get downfield and at least draw guns on him. He doesn't have to shoot anybody to be really effective. Get downfield, draw guns on him.
Chad Boucher dropping the hammer on, it looks like Kirill in the 50-yard line, Dorito. So there's just one Russian left alive, and it's Justin Rabakov all by himself, and he's going to have to pull off another miracle.
Yep, had a hard time, and he needs to even consider maybe backing out of the snake at this point. But then time is killing him now, so he needs to go forward.
He's going to have to pull
He's got to
off.
go right into the guns now. He has to. He has no choice.
He's looking at 3 bodies, and even now with the blood in the water, look how methodical Damage is playing.
It's on their side. They'll just let the game run out.
Yeah, but that speaks to how
Smart,
they're progressing.
that they're not, because at this point you don't want to do something like get a penalty or
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want to get a major or anything by going into a feeding frenzy.
And to Justin's credit, he knows what's at stake. He knows he's the last guy. He knows if he gets shot, their tournament's over and they're taking second back.
Well, he has to stay alive and keep this happening, but he also knows the clock is killing him.
But I'll tell you what, if I'm El Yusuf, man, I'm going to want to get as close as possible, run down Justin. The crowd will erupt. This is their hometown. And to make their statement to the paintball world, we're World Cup champions. That's what I'd want to do at least.
Yep.
And you can look, El Yusuf wants to go.
He wants to.
He wants to launch.
Yeah.
Let's see if he drops the hammer.
He's going to.
I mean, he's just going to trade.
He's going to.
Gun up,
here he goes.
And here he goes.
He's going
Let's
to.
see if an El Yusuf can drop the hammer coming off an injury.
There he goes.
Let's see if he's going to launch and take him down. And El Yusuf comes and drops the hammer on Justin Rabakoff, and that is going to do it. So congratulations, Tampa Bay. Damage. Holiday running to grab that flag. I think it's fitting that Holiday is going to grab the flag. He played so solid, so consistent.
He really did. He was like their anchor man. And the thing is I think that they really start right around point 3. It all started to shift. I mean, you could just see the momentum shifting in there. I think the Russians did pretty good to battle back a little bit. Yeah. But really, from point 3 on, Damage is walking on and off the field with confidence, and you can just see it.
Absolutely,
and they deserve it. They played good. They played pretty damn flawless. A couple penalties, but nothing too crazy. They deserve to win, and they played the best too.
And so the referee checking out Daniel Holiday, and Dan Holiday, it looks like he is clean, and that is it. So congratulations to Tampa Bay Damage, who are our 2011 PSP World Cup champions, and that's 2 events in a row that they've chalked up as wins. Our final score is 7-4. Man, if you are a Damage fan and all the fans here, I'm sure they're incredibly happy to see their hometown boys win this event, 2 events in a row. And Damage is really making a statement to the paintball world. They're here to stay. They're a force to be reckoned with.
They're one of our up-and-coming teams of the future. They really are. These guys have they're young. They're a tight group. They've got a lot of energy and a long ways to go. We're going to be talking about Damage for years to come for sure.
And you're looking at, let's check out this highlight right here from that last point, and you're looking at Rumsey El Yusuf polishing off Justin Rabakoff, and he's got his boy right behind him, and it's Daniel Holiday, who's just played so consistent. And there was at the final.
I'm surprised that Justin didn't try and back out of there, but it's multiple targets. You're down on your knees. It's a tough spot to be, but you're at that point. You either go forward or you back out. But I think he thought maybe he could draw him in a little bit and pick up a couple, maybe a lucky G or 2. But
and look at that. Look at how much taller Dave is than everybody. Big Dave Baines, man, just Dave Baines. I don't know the stat at the top of my head, but Dave is pretty much, whether it's Dynasty or the Russians or Damage, I mean, he's been involved in so many world championships. Yep. And we say this a lot, Dave. It's kind of funny, but and Alex Frazee invented it, because you hear Dave so often. I'm calling his name because he shoots so many guys off the break and he's so clutch. That's why you pay Dave Baines, And so congratulations to the entire crew. Mike Carthy played great. Brian Smith. Great job by Brown. He stepped up too. One of the rookies for Tampa Bay Damage. Timmy Probst, the entire group, the Edwards brothers. Just phenomenal performance by the entire team from Damage.
Yep. They deserve it.
Yeah, they do. So
World Cup champs.
They
played the best ball
2011.
Here. There's no question who should be taking this home tonight.
Yeah, exactly. But let's check out some highlights from this match here as we watch the Russians and Tampa Bay Damage throw down here PSP 2011 World Cup. And early on, the Russians looked pretty strong. You got Holiday getting run down by Fedorov, and if there was a battle, Fedorov actually I didn't think was as big of a presence.
He didn't play Fedorov ball today. I mean, it's a long event.
He didn't play Fedorov ball this game, but the morning he played amazing.
Oh, did he? Did he? And it's a long day. It's just like these guys, and you can't always have your A game every single time. Obviously, you want it when it counts the most.
Yeah.
But sometimes no matter what you do, it just seems like you're a magnet for getting hit. It's like things don't go your way.
One of those
he didn't do anything really extraordinary. He was getting shot out from back bunkers.
Yeah.
And that's not something that Fedorov really. You don't ever see that with him. You always see him, if he's going to, he's going to go down, it's going to go down way up front.
Yeah, exactly. And then we just watched that amazing.
And that's a huge hit for that team. When he's not picking up G's and not opening doors and making things happen or winning points by himself, it affects the whole team's tempo.
Yeah, exactly. So on your screen, you're still seeing this right there, and this Fedorov catching a couple more balls.
In addition to Fedorov, I think that Justin had a rough afternoon as well.
Well, that major penalty was a huge thorn in the side.
I don't know if they got to him psychologically, but it's
and that's what we're watching right here.
So
this
you
is
take
on your screen, you're checking it out.
their sharpest, instruments, and you take them out of action, and they just had a rough game. It's kind of. It could throw your whole team's chemistry out of whack.
Yeah, it definitely did. You could see Justin there. He just,
it did. I really think that they
that.
started to lose the tempo of the match by 0.3 is when I started to see that it was.
And look at the frustration. You can start to see it as we go through these highlights on their faces and in the body language. You always know by the body language.
And also, too, at any given point, I think the damaged guys were still really communicating well with each other, and that started to evaporate for the Russians. They were all just starting to play individual ball.
Yeah, and this was it right here, the nail in the coffin exclamation point on the season for Tampa Bay Damage as Justin Rabikov, the last player shot and the last guy to leave the field for the Russians. So just amazing job by Tampa Bay Damage to win 2 events in a row and again, really just earning so much respect. And, they really can't, I don't think they can say that they're the underdogs anymore or that people aren't giving them their due. If anyone's out there, again, paintball world.
They're a powerhouse team. They deserve it.
And, so we see our champions here, 2011 PSP World Cup, just such a good job. And so amazing event, almost 300 teams and just amazing competition all weekend long. You're looking at the boys with smiles on their faces and they deserve it. Congratulations to them. So that's it for us here, 2011 season. We will be back next year. Remember that. And I'm Matty Marshall on behalf of all of our broadcast crew, all of our sponsors, Dave DeHaan. We will be back. And we promise you that's going to be amazing. We'll see you next year.